You're listening to the Psych podcast with Isha and Nadia.
All things psych, candid, and comedy.
Hey girlies, welcome back to another episode of the Psych podcast.
Yes, thank you for tuning in to another episode. I think today's topic is something that's very, very interesting, very relatable for us also.
Yes.
So I hope you guys enjoy this one.
Yep. So the topic for today is, why does everyone have their life together except me?
Yes, especially when you're scrolling on social media and you look at everyone's life and you're like, oh my god, she's like so smart. She has everything. She knows what she wants to do, her degree. She's got good friends, relationships, and you're like, where's mine?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think the thing is I think in this particular age, right, I think everyone is still figuring out what they want. I think that's why they tend to feel this pressure lah.
Yeah, and it can be very overwhelming, I think.
Yes.
You know, because like for us also, we're uni students, so we have a lot going on. You know, we are focusing on our studies, trying to manage like also having hobbies.
Yep.
And it can be so overwhelming because like sometimes you feel lost.
Correct.
You're like, am I doing what I really want to do? And then like you think about like we're going for our internship.
Yes.
So we have a lot to think about now. So even now feels very overwhelming for us, and it's a very crucial stage, I think, in adolescence. Yeah,
because I think it's not easy lah.
No, it's not.
It's not easy to get an internship.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think it's email time.
yes, it's email time. So we'll actually be reading 2 emails maybe
Yes.
that sent from our
Yep.
friends. So
It's about time. Sip and spill the tea. It's about time.
tell it all to me.
It's about time. Let the whole thing breathe.
Sip and spill the tea.
Okay. So the first email will be Nadia will be reading
Yeah,
it.
so I'll be reading the first email. This one is titled Everyone Seems Ahead of Me. So our first listener actually wrote, hello Isha and Nadia, thanks for reading my email and please keep me anonymous. I'm 19 and I'm currently in college. Lately I've been feeling really overwhelmed because it seems like everyone around me has their life more figured out than I do. My close friends already know what degree they want, some are getting internships, and people I follow online all look so confident about their future. Meanwhile, I keep changing my mind a lot. One week I want psychology, the next week I'm thinking maybe law. And then I find myself unsure again. So it makes me feel like I'm falling behind in life, even though I'm trying my best.
But I think you can see that she's not lacking any type of effort lah when it comes to
right?
this. She's just very uncertain about what she
I
wants in
think
her
so.
future.
Yeah, and I think it's a common misconception that people always think, oh,
Yup.
they don't know what they want to do in life,
Yup.
so that means they just are lost.
Yup.
Especially, I think this was something I felt really after SPM.
Yes. I think
Yes.
a lot felt that way lah.
When everyone's like, oh, so what are you planning to do after this?
Oh my god, yes.
And
so
I'm so
pressuring.
lost. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my god, I haven't really thought it through, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's just because that we don't know what we want to do doesn't mean that we're not determined, and
Yup.
it doesn't mean that we're falling behind just because someone else knows what they want to do and we don't.
Yeah lah.
Yeah, we have to find what works best for us, you know?
But I think that pressure can also lead to choosing the wrong career or the wrong
I think that
pathway lah.
happens a lot. I think I've had a couple friends also that experiences that. Yeah. So she continues the email by saying, at home, my parents also expect me to be more certain by now. They keep saying I should already know what I want to do, and sometimes they compare me to my relatives who seem more confident. I understand that they want what's best for me, but it makes me feel pressured and like I'm doing something wrong.
Parents lah.
That one very tough subject.
Yeah. But I think that of course adds another layer of pressure.
Yeah,
lah.
definitely, for
Because
sure.
kau bayangkan, she needs to now juggle both her family expectation as well what she wants to do.
Yeah. And I think that's something a lot young people experience, especially because we're in an Asian culture.
Yes, correct.
So parents have a lot of say in our
Correct.
life, you
Yes,
know,
yes.
because based on culture, everybody has like their own, like, you know, taboos and traditions and stuff like that. So even though families may mean well, sometimes these kind of comparisons can actually cause us to feel more unsure about what we want to do.
Correct. Yes.
So she continues the last bit of the email by saying that she also notices that social media makes it worse. She says that when I scroll, I see people posting achievements, scholarships, and life updates. I know it's not the full picture, but at the end of the day, I still end up comparing myself and I feel very left behind.
But I think it's good that she mentioned that, you know, social media doesn't always show like the complete picture of
Yeah,
someone's life.
because I think we forget that social media is like an online platform.
Yeah.
So it's not someone's whole life. It's
Exactly.
like, okay, you go out with friends, you take a picture, you
Yeah.
post it. And I think we compare their like highlight reel to our
Whole
behind the
entire
scenes,
life.
our
Yes,
whole
yes,
entire
yes.
life. Yeah. So it's like you may be waking up in bed and then you see a friend going on a hike and you're like, oh my god, I'm so lazy.
Yeah, like my life is
Because
so boring.
I'm rotting in bed.
Exactly.
But it's not the case because you didn't. She probably rotting in bed before that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You never know that.
You never know.
So I think this theory, this email can definitely be linked to one of the theory very commonly known by psychology students, so whoever who studies lah, okay,
Yes.
which is Erickson's theory, especially on the stage
Definitely.
of identity versus role confusion
Yeah,
lah.
so I remember that we studied this in class and I actually found it very fascinating because it finally feels like whatever I feel can actually be tied to a theory. So it makes me
Yep.
feel a little bit more validated.
Yep.
So what Erickson explains is that adolescence is roughly around the age of like 13 to 20 years old. And this is basically the time where we explore what we like to do, what we want to do. So it's basically us like discovering our stable sense of identity.
Yep. And not only it helps you like decide a career. I think it's also about like your own interests, about your values, your interests, is to understand parts of this like these are factors like this, and also the people. The person that you want to become. I think that plays a very important role, especially in this stage.
Yes, for sure.
It definitely helps you to like understand yourself and just to know what you want to be in the future.
Because I think like we're not the same person that we were like
Yup.
3-5 years ago.
Yes.
So it's very important for us to like explore different interests. And it's fine to change it halfway because I think that we are supposed to find what direction feels best for us.
Yep.
Yeah, the path is supposed to be tailored for us. We shouldn't be like following someone else's path.
Exactly.
Because it's just not gonna work out for us.
And I think a lot of them make that mistakes. Yeah.
Yes. You know, they tend to follow what their parents want them to do or their
Exactly,
friends and then they end up
exactly.
feeling unhappy.
Yeah.
I think in the midst of all this, it's very important to focus on like your self growth and your happiness. Find what
Yup.
makes you happy.
Correct. 100% agree.
Yes.
On that. Okay, but the thing is, right, like I mentioned earlier, I think this can be a challenge, especially when families are involved or anything that is contradicting your interests. Can maybe your beliefs, your interests, or anything that doesn't fit well to what you want.
Yeah.
Can be a challenge lah.
Yeah, I think so. And it's because we are constantly surrounded by them.
Yes, correct.
It's like societal expectations, friends. You know, sometimes, especially because I think we're women, so we may feel like expectations a little bit more.
Yes,
Like you're
correct.
expected to have
Yes.
not only a stable academic, you're supposed to have a stable relationship. You know, family members already have started asking the question like, are you going to be next when you go to a wedding?
yes.
And you're like, oh my god,
yeah.
no, maybe not, hopefully not. And it's so pressuring because I feel like we always compare our journey to other people's journey.
So I think over time, of course, this can create self-doubt lah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think if you want to put a label on what she's going through, it would be called role confusion,
Yep.
where she has a lot of like uncertainty and the outside pressure just adds on to that, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're gonna move to the second email. Okay.
Go for it, girly.
Yes. Okay, job. Okay. So, hi Isha, hi Nadia. I'm a fan from Singapore. I love watching your podcast. Please keep me anonymous. I really enjoy your discussions because I feel really relatable. I can relate to it. I'm 18 years old and I often struggle with confidence, especially when I compare myself to people around me. In class, I see others speaking so confidently and answering questions without hesitation,
Yep.
while I tend to overthink everything that I say.
Yep.
Even when I know the answer, I still feel nervous to speak up.
Yeah, I think that's actually way more common. I think even me for that matter, there's so many times I'm in class and I'm like, oh, I think I know the answer to this.
Yes, correct. We experience this a lot, like every single semester.
Yeah,
we go
and
through
instead of like speaking up, I'll just say it to her.
exactly,
I'm like, is this the
I
answer?
don't know lah, I think it's just very common lah, because
Yeah.
I think most of our classmates do the same.
Yeah, I think it's more so not the fear of being judged. I think it's the pressure of like, oh, if I speak up, do I sound weird?
Yes.
Am I being judged? Does someone think like I'm a know-it-all? You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, but I also noticed that not many people express this. They just like to use a facade where, oh, I'm very confident.
Yep.
I will speak up. But I think many of us actually internally we feel this way. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. Because definitely internally you'll have the doubts lah. I think
Yeah.
many of us will have the same doubts.
Of course.
It's just that because of your confidence, example, someone who's really confident, they won't show.
Yeah.
They won't show. But definitely deep down they would have something.
Definitely.
lah. Okay, so she also goes along.
Okay.
Wait, let me get back to the email.
Go for
Let
it.
me scroll. Says a lot. Okay. She also said that sometimes I also compare myself to people online, and even my friends. I feel like I'm not as confident or put together as them. I try to improve, but I still end up feeling like I'm behind socially and academically.
See, I like how like the same like concept comes up, which is like feeling left behind.
Yep.
Just that this is also more socially, which I feel like I do relate to because as someone that was very quiet, I mean maybe now I'm like not as quiet, but like A few years ago, I was a very introverted person.
Yes, I think we evolved. Lah,
Yes.
for sure.
And I surrounded myself with a lot of extroverts. So sometimes I
Yup.
wonder, like, oh my God, like, they are so outspoken. They can say what they feel.
Yes.
If they're unhappy with something that someone says, they're very vocal about it. Whereas I just
very
take it.
straightforward.
Yes.
About it, lah.
And I just let people walk all over me.
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not I'm not at par with them. Yeah, I understand that.
So I think actually right, this theory I think boleh match with what Festinger's social comparison theory lah.
Oh my God,
kan?
yes. We learned this in like early on, right?
Yeah, I
second
think second
semester?
semester.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So this is basically where Festinger basically suggested that we have the natural tendency to just compare ourselves with people,
Yup.
especially when we feel uncertain about what we are doing.
And I think the comparison can either be upwards or downwards.
Yeah, that's for sure. And when you talk about like social media, you mentioned earlier, and we said about how it's highlight reels, it's mostly someone's upward.
Yes.
And I
Obviously,
think the
yup.
tendency for me personally, whenever I compare myself to someone online, is usually one of my downwards.
Yes.
So I'm at a more vulnerable state where psychologically I look at someone and it affects me mentally. I'm like, oh, am I not doing enough?
Yeah.
So someone's upward is not their downward, and their downward can look like ours or can be completely different, and it's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
But masalahnya kan, I think we rarely make equal comparison lah.
Yeah, I know. And I think that's us being unfair towards ourselves.
Yeah.
I think we're a bit harsh. Like sometimes we always say, oh, be kind to others, but we forget to be kind to ourselves. And we compare ourselves at our worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think when that happens repeatedly, of course, like it can create the impression of like, everyone has their life together except you,
Yes.
because you feel like you're so stuck.
It's definitely a major contributor, yeah, which is why self-esteem is so important.
That's
It's
true.
so
That's a
important
good
to have
point.
like
Yeah.
a foundation of self-esteem, yeah.
And sebab because when adolescents constantly compare themselves to like others, right, definitely they base their self-worth out of something like external factors or external achievements that they achieve.
Yeah.
So example, for them they might feel like, oh, if I get straight A's or if I achieve this or that, I will be seen as someone who is valued or
Yes.
successful. I think
Yes.
it's very common lah, that
That's so
adolescents feel
common.
that way.
Yeah, I think that was also very common during our school time.
Yes.
You know, when you used to have science stream, art stream, it's so pressuring because like people are so smart.
yes,
People are so
hands down.
smart, and
Yes.
you're like, oh, I only have this many A's, that person has that many A's,
Yeah.
and you think that that's the benchmark.
Yes.
In order to be
yes,
smart,
yes.
I need to get straight A's.
Yes,
Yeah.
especially like final exam SPM.
SPM, oh my God.
Everybody say, oh, have to get like what 5 A's and above.
You know how pressuring it was to go get your results on that
Oh my
day?
God, yes.
Walking into the school was a nightmare.
But I think I've seen a lot of like my classmates or my friends, those who get like even 5 A's or 4 A's, they're not
Yes.
happy with themselves.
Yes, because I think the comparison is we're always comparing to ourselves to someone who's better.
Yeah.
And that makes us feel worse about ourselves.
Yes.
And we don't celebrate the little joys, I think, or we don't appreciate ourselves for the little things that we do. For example, like you said, like, oh, 5 A's not really happy, right? But you may be getting an A in a subject that you used to be failing,
Yes.
and you don't give yourself credit for that just because you compare to someone else who got straight A's.
Exactly.
So
I think it's important that you guys should understand that development isn't the same for everyone.
yes,
lah.
it's definitely not linear lah. And just because you may be feeling left behind, someone else that you compare yourself to, who you says, oh, this person has their life together, they may actually be feeling left behind.
Exactly.
They may look at you and say, oh my God, no, she has her life together.
Yes.
It's all about perception at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I think looking at both these emails, I think it's very clear to say that these type of feelings are quite common.
Yeah, so
than
much more
we
common
know
than I
lah.
expected.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think it's known that social media plays a role as well, a very very big role.
Yeah, especially now with how technology is so booming.
Advanced also
With AI and stuff like that, you can ask AI certain things and stuff like that. I think it's important to know that social media is more like an online diary.
Yep.
Like it's just a part of someone's story.
Yep.
Like it's a chapter in their life, not the whole story of their life.
So today's discussion shows that, of course, the feeling that everyone has their life together is a common experience during adolescence.
Yeah, especially with how we shared like certain experiences of our own.
Yeah.
Like SPM and how we're looking for internship placement right now. I think psychology also helps us understand it better.
Yep.
Like the two theories you mentioned, Festinger and Erickson, it does play a big role.
Yes.
And I think it helps us understand why we are feeling this way. So it makes us feel more normal.
Correct.
Yeah.
So guys, please remember that everyone's journey is different.
Yes. At the end of the day, we're all figuring out our life lah.
Yeah.
You may look at us and think, oh my God, these two girls have their life together, but this is only a couple minute video.
Exactly.
We
This is just on camera.
Exactly.
You don't know anything off camera.
And everybody's journey, everybody's development is not linear. I think it's very important to focus on your own happiness lah.
Yes, so instead of
Yes.
comparing yourself to others, please
Yes.
focus on your own growth as well as the progress that you're making.
Yeah, do what makes you happy.
Yeah,
We all live on a floating rock.
exactly.
It can just lose gravity
Yeah,
one day
yeah,
and fall.
exactly.
Just do what you like.
Yeah. So I think that is it for today's episode. Thank you so
Yes.
much for tuning in, and we'll
We'll
see you in the next
guys in the next
one.
episode.
Bye.
Bye-bye.